Morning. How's everybody doing? We have got a good morning planned. At least I hope so. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is a template I really haven't used a lot. And you'll notice that I actually have needle channels in it. So, the templates are rather new. So, what we're going to do first is we're going to take a look and see who all's here joining us this morning. And Becky is here from Dana, Indiana. Welcome, Becky. Good to see you. And my friend Cactus Deb is here from Glendale. Carla has a beautiful sunny day in Oklahoma City. Welcome, Carla. And Linda G is joining us from the United Arab Emirates, and she is right. Our temperatures here are very similar to yours right now, Linda. Although I've got to tell you, this morning it has cooled off and it is a welcome relief. Lisa, good morning from Sugar Land, Texas. And Linda Lombardo, my Michigander buddy. Kathy's here from Long Island. Welcome, Kathy. Good to see you as always. And Monica from Durant, Illinois. Awesome to see you as well. You guys, hopefully this morning I won't have quite as quite as much excitement as we had last night. Okay, um, we'll get through it though. We will get through it. Susie's here from Arlington. Welcome, Susie and Kathy. My friend from Roderick from Texas is good. Ah, Di says they're having another June gloom morning in Southern California. Di, I'm so sorry. Come on up and see me. The weather is beautiful here this morning. Finally. That's enough. Tippy thinks that because I've started talking, I should be feeding her treats. So we may hear a bark in the background every once in a while. No, enough. So let's take a look at what we've got. We are working this morning. I almost said tonight. We are working this morning on the Spin-e-Fex 6. Okay. The Spin-e-Fex 6, as I said, this is one of the last Spin-e-Fex templates that I bought. And I have a feeling that we're going to definitely take a very interesting look at this morning. I'm going to do a couple different things with the Spin-e-Fex, and I want to review a few things as well this morning. Things that we all know, but I tend to not talk about them very often, and I really should be reviewing them um, over and over again because we have new people all the time. And I definitely want to make sure that we don't leave anybody out in the cold. Nan, hi, my friend. Nan is visiting us from Sweden this morning. And Ronnie, welcome from Northeastern Arizona. So good to see you online. I gotta tell you guys, I actually got to meet Ronnie in person. We had the most wonderful visit. She is just an awesome, awesome lady, and her husband is extremely talented too. It was an honor to get to meet you guys. Nan, thank you. I'm glad that you like Mondays Live. It was one of those ones where it was kind of like I felt like I was hitting on all eight cylinders. So I really appreciate the comment. Di says, gives us, oh, okay, the June gloom. It gives us a cool morning before the heat hits when the sun comes out. She said she loves these mornings. I get it. I love them too. Pam is here from Maine. Good morning. Okay, so let's take a look here at what we've got. We have got the Spinifex 6 in the normal sizes and all of that. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and set this aside right now. I'm just going to pick out one of the smaller ones here to show you the shape of it. It has a really different shape. I mean, seriously, guys, have you ever seen anything like this? This morning, what I want to do is I want to review using the pin or the tack in the center. So we're going to do that this morning. We're also, because this is a relatively new spinifex to me, what I want to do is show you a 4-point, 8-point, and 16-point rotation on it. Okay. Now, what we're going to do too is we're going to take a look and see what we can do as far as the border goes on this one. So I'm going to set that one aside right now. I'm going to go ahead and take this out. What you're going to see is I've got 16 points here. But before I get started on it, what I want to do is I want to make sure to show you how to how to set your foot height, because it's a skill we really have to know in order to make sure that everything comes out beautifully. Oh, Susie's here. Good morning, Susie. She's got a cool 80 degrees this morning. I think we're at right about 70. So it's kind of nice. It's a shame when 70 feels cold though, right? Okay, here we go. There we go. I have loosened up my foot. You can see how loose it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift it up and let it fall. And where it falls is going to be just kissing the top of the fabric. And that's where I'm going to tighten it down. I am on a vintage machine. This is a 50s vintage Singer 301. Absolutely love this machine. It is perfect for ruler quilting. It is perfect for free motion quilting. Okay. One issue I have with this machine, something if you get one of these, you may want to watch for. There's a lot of vibration in these machines, these older machines. And so what happens is this screw will loosen up occasionally. And when it does, your foot pops up. So what you want to do is you just want to make sure that you gently make sure that the top of the foot is just kissing the fabric, tighten it back down, and keep going. You may not even realize that you have seen me do this so many times. It works. It's easy. You get used to it. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. It's the price we pay, you know, and it's worth it to me. It surely is. Donna is here from North Carolina. Hi, Donna. Good to see you. So let's go ahead and get started on the basic designs here that we're going to use. And I am going to use, let me see which one I want to use. Just for practicing, I like to go kind of midway. Midway is 7.5 inches. So that's what we're going to use. I'm going to go ahead, put my template on. Okay, you can tell I'm used to gates because I'm putting my template on first. With the needle channel, we don't really need to do that. All righty. I am going to shed some light on the subject. There we go. Because then I can see the middle of my foot. I don't put the light on my machine. And the reason that I don't do that when I'm here with you guys, okay, that's the only time I don't, is because I have an LED light on here. And if I turn that on, it literally just washes everything out and you won't be able to see anything. So I have a light on the camera and it seems to throw enough light that I can get to see everything and you can get to see everything too. That's important. Now, for the last few lives that I've done, we've talked about leaving your fabric in one orientation. And I hope that is a skill that you're working on and building on because it is so very important if you're working on a large scale quilt. If you use a suspension system, it's going to help immensely to keep that weight off of the bed of the machine. And what you're going to want to do is definitely quilt in all directions because you're not going to be taking that big queen size quilt and going under your throat to make every rotation. Have I used this machine for a queen size quilt? Yes, I have. And it turned out quite successful. But the key was I used my suspension system and I also kept my fabric oriented in the same shape all the time or the same orientation. So here we go. Let's take a look at what we like about this template, okay? Well, one of the things that I really like about it is that it has such a gentle curve here. It really is. We have a little bit of a sharp angle on top of point, so we're going to want to make a hesitation stitch. Because of the gentle curve, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make sure that our stitch length is just a little bit shorter. And remember, keep your hands relaxed. You want to be, um, I call it loosey goosey, maybe not quite that loose, but you want to be nice and relaxed, okay? You don't want to be pushing down on anything. Go ahead and get rid of that thread. But if you're holding your hands nice and relaxed, what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to push against that template with your foot or the foot with the template. And that's our goal. Make sure we don't do that because that's what's going to give us the most success with our rotations. Okay. So nice and relaxed, taking our time. The other thing is find the rhythm that works for you. You definitely don't need to go at the speed of light. Definitely don't. It's a journey, and we want you to enjoy the journey. My students get sick and tired of hearing me say that. I know they do. But it's true. It's absolutely so true. The other thing that I encourage you to do, get as much education as you can. So Study University has so many classes. They have a ton of free classes on there. Plus, they have classes that are very affordable, 10, 15, $20. Utilize those. All of the educators with So Study have so much to offer. And it really behooves you to learn from different educators to see exactly what the methods are they use. You may like my method best, you may like somebody else's method best. What is important is that you find the one that works the best for you, and what you get to glean from that, and you can always incorporate 2 or more together, right, Nan? Nan knows about that. I love Nan's learning style or teaching style. She is a wonderful teacher, and definitely encourage you to please sign up for her classes and learn from Nan. She is awesome. Okay, so right now my foot just let loose. How do I know that? I know that because when I started out here, my fabric did what's called flagging. Flagging means that when the needle comes up, the fabric comes up with it. So I just went ahead and I just lightly pushed that back down. I'm going to tighten that up again. And now you see there's no flagging going on. And this is where you're going to find that sweet spot that's going to give you the best stitch possible. If you have your foot too close or too heavy on the top of the fabric, you're going to have a hard time moving it around. And it's going to cause what we call snow plowing. If you come from the South, you may not understand what snow plowing is. And basically, what it is a snowplow is a big machine that comes down and clears our streets when we have a storm. But what happens is it creates these bubbles or these ridges as it's clearing the streets. And we don't want our fabric to be doing that. Here is 4 rotations. 4 rotations. Nice. And oh, Debbie, is there a link for that? Oh, okay. Yeah, here we go. I'm squirreling, guys. All right. Oh, Rita's here. Good evening, Rita. I'm so sorry. I will be happy to send you some of our heat if you would like some. And Debbie, here is the link for the templates. I am sorry. I had it all ready to go, but I forgot to post it. Okay, must be a blonde moment, but I have a lot of them since, well, I used to be blonde anyway. So here is our 4-point rotation. Can we do things with this? Absolutely, we can. One of the things I think is kind of cool is if we were to come here and put this coming in, and let's go ahead and do that, okay? Here we go. I'm squirreling. This is Deb's favorite part is when I start squirreling. She gets a kick out of it. Oh gosh. Okay, so this is going to be a round design when we're done with it, right? Let's pretend we have a square block here. And I'm going to grab my ruler and we're going to draw a square block. Okay? Obviously, I did not plan this. That's okay. We're here to have fun. We're not here to be serious. Oh, yeah, serious is way way overrated. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Okay, so I'm gonna make a 4.5-inch square, or I'm sorry, 9-inch square around this. It's gonna be 4.5 this way, and then I'm gonna come here and make it 4.5 this way. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Whoops, there's my half. And lining myself up really nice. Want to make sure I'm all lined up. And we're going to come 4.5 this way. So we've got a 9-inch square. Okay. And let's just go ahead. Oh, my stuff is it's falling all over the place. Now I already have this line here, which is my 45-degree line, but I am going to extend it out right here because I want it I want to be able to see it in the bottom of my template. Okay, so I was using 7.5 inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here. Let's see what this is gonna look like. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm first going to put my vertical. And as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, okay, this is a 9-inch block. We may be better off using an 8.5 inch just to get or we could come in here with a larger template. Would I use this? Probably not. And the reason being is it's too disproportional to the rotations that I'm using in the first portion of this design. So I'm going to stick with the 7.5. Now, what we can do if we have a 9-inch block and we want it to be smaller, that's not a problem. We can come in and we can just draw a second line in here. And we can make this just a little bit smaller. Here we go. And okay, I'm just gonna fudge it kind of, guys, okay? Here we go, 1/2 inch. Okay, so now what we will have when we finish this block is we're gonna have like a breathing room here, okay? But we can still do something with that breathing room. Okay, here we go. And I think one of the things I'm gonna do is get my 12-inch arc out here. If I can find it. There it is. It kind of disappeared last night. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to echo the outside of this block here. And I got my foot down just a little too low. There we go. And there I go again. You see how I do make a lot of adjustments on my foot. If you have one of those new fancy machines, you probably have a knob that lets you adjust that foot up and down in very small increments. And if you do, please. Okay, Lee's here. Welcome, Lee. Yes, it is a Bohemian marker, Donna. It is. And I absolutely love these. They're not the only ones who make this. It just happens to be the one that I have. And what impresses me about this a lot is how easily the marks come off. They really do. It's just, so far as I'm concerned, it's a really superior product. All right, and I have my basing gauge right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down with a straight line. We're going to echo the outside of the block. We're going to get to that 45-degree line in the corner. I'm going to stop there. And I am going to get, oops, no, wrong one, Corgan. There we go, my 7.5 inch. I could go smaller, definitely. I could go 5.5 inch. I would not advise going bigger. I think it would look awkward. But that's my opinion. You may have a different one. And you know what? You're totally entitled to doing it the way that you feel as though you want it to look. There's nothing wrong with that, guys. Nothing at all. All right, nice and easy. Relaxed fingers, relaxed hands, relaxed thumbs. Keep that wrist relaxed, your elbows, your shoulders. Have your child, your grandchild, or your husband rub your neck while you're doing this to keep you nice and relaxed. And if they do it for you, send them to my house because I don't have anybody who will. Oh, see how nice that's going to finish out that block and make it square. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and come down. And I need my spacing gauge, which I know is right here. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and go to the other corner. This is a very simple, I think, a very simple plan, but I love it. I think it's very effective. And when you're doing modern quilting, I'm not really sure how many of you out there are modern quilters. Modern quilters tend to keep things cleaner. They don't do like I do and quilt everything to death, okay? Is that okay? Yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, guys. I love some of the modern quilters out there. Their work is absolutely stunning. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in. I love needle channels. They're so much nicer than gates. They take far much less time as well. Okay. Again, nice and relaxed. Whoops, there we go. Find that sweet spot with your foot. Okay. For me and all of us who use vintage machines, that is so important. For you who have modern machines, you can just go ahead and slide that slider for your needle speed and work with it that way too. That works very well. There we go, back to the corner. Gonna go ahead, take this guy out. I'm gonna come up and go do the rest of it. And then I wanna show you one more thing I think we can do with this. I'm not sure, but we're gonna try it out. Oh, I'm over one stitch. There we go. All right. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I love it when a plan comes together, don't you? And that's as far as we're going to go because we're only doing half of this block in this manner. All right. Go ahead and cut my threads. Now, we're going to try this. I'm not holding out a lot of hope that it's going to work, but we're going to try it anyway. Oh, you know what, guys? It is going to work. So let's take our 3.5 inch. I'm going to start at the corner and we're going to fill in this empty space that we put in here. Okay. There we go. Actually, I'm not gonna start at the corner, I'm gonna start in the center. And the reason I'm gonna start in the center is because I'm not sure where I'm going to end up here. If I had more time, I'd measure it all out and make sure that I was exactly where I need to be. But I don't have that luxury this morning because you guys don't want to be still sitting here watching me blabber on when it's lunchtime, right? I know I wouldn't want to hear myself. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to start in the center, and this is just kind of a good thing to know how to do. Another really nice skill. So I'm using the same template, but this time I'm using a 3.5 inch. And all I'm doing is half of that template. Whoops, that was my mistake. Coming here. Now, I could come this way if I wanted to, or I can flip it around, which is what I'm going to do. And let's go ahead and see how we come to the corner. Okay, liking this. All right, so what you can see is we're not going to come all the way. But you know what? That's okay. What I'm going to do here is I am going to move my template down and take my spacing gauge, and I want it to end right here. All right, come down. Perfect. And now we have set our bar. So now we know where we need to be. And it's not the best. I think maybe let's do the other side. I think I would do it a little differently. I would call this a fail. Okay. That's no big deal. I'll just move on. Don't forget, we all have them. Celebrate your wins, move on from your fails, and don't look back. I've learned to do that. Oh, look at my foot came loose again. No worries. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to put this down here. I'm going to pull that thread up and then I'm going to reset my foot. As soon as I pull that bobbin thread out, it's been a little ornery this morning. Maybe just too early. I'm not sure. Okay, here we go. Down we go. Put my needle in. Now I'm going to make sure that I've got my foot set correctly. There we go. Put it down a little bit. And we're going to go off in the other direction. And this is why we encourage you to draw things out first. It's a lot easier to change it on paper than it is to change it while you're actually working on it. If this were a real block, I would need to go in and definitely pull all that out, okay? Oh, you're welcome, Deb. You're welcome. Uh, yeah, Ken is too busy taking care of the dogs, and we have 3 of them. And when one doesn't think of the other 2 do, they are 3 very special dogs in my belief system anyway. I love them dearly. They're really good dogs. 2 are miniature Australian Shepherds, and 1 is a Border Collie. All right, here we go. So now we're going to make that second rotation or that second design here coming out. Now, what I'm going to do with this one is I'm not going to try and fudge anything. I am just going to stop at this point right here on the diagonal, okay? Right there. Now, all things being equal, when I come from here down to here, come on, there we go. We should meet right there. So let's see if that works, okay? See if I end up with another fail this morning or if we end up with a success. I'd like to have at least one success today, right? Okay. And actually, I think I might. I'm getting my big Bertha, my big machine back today. I am so excited. I cannot wait to get down there and get it. And yeah, we have to travel for everything we do up here. We are so rural. That's a hard word to say. Okay, so here we go. Again, starting just like I did in the middle of the block on the other side, coming this way. And we're going to go ahead and make another half rotation here. We're going to stop here on the line. Okay, this is the moment, guys. This is the do or die moment. We're going to see if this is going to work. We're going to come up like this. And then we're going to come down and check it out. It worked. Well, it's a stitch off. I think it's good enough for the guys we hang out with. Look at here, how beautiful that is. So really, that took me what, 5 minutes to figure out? It's worth it. It's worth it. I am loving this. I really am. So now that we've got that part worked out, we know how to make this into a square. Let's go ahead and finish out some of the rotations, and we'll just do it on the upper half here, okay? Let's see where we are. High energy dogs. Lisa, you're absolutely right. And yes, they do keep us busy. They definitely do. Our border collie is the smartest dog we've ever had. She is my baby. She actually saved my life. And that's a true thing that she really did. So she and I are pretty much inseparable, but she's getting old. She's got hip dysplasia. And yet, even with it all, she runs around with the two little ones like there's no tomorrow. And it is just, it makes my heart smile when she does. It really does. I'm going to be very hurt when we lose that one. Okay, and the two little ones we call the hooligans because what one doesn't think of, the other one does. They are very good dogs, very high energy, and very protective of the house. Oh, I may have mentioned we live in a rural area. We have herds of deer walking down our street often, and they love to come into the garden and eat the flowers. Well, the hooligans always let us know when they're around. Oh, and you wanna know something? The deer are not afraid of them. They stand there and look at them. Our deer are so tame that they wait for cars before they cross the street. All right, here we go. So this is going to be the 8-point rotation, okay? Here we go. Nice and easy. Beautiful. Keep your hands just so terribly relaxed. Very nice and relaxed. Okay, make sure my needle is down. Now I'm going to go ahead and move to the other side. And off we go. Keeping that stitch length just a little bit smaller. You know, I have found since I discovered keeping those stitch lengths a little smaller, I do it for everything now. I used to just do it if I had a curve like this. And what I discovered was don't mix your sizes in a block. In other words, I have a curve here and a straight line here. So what I don't want to do is put tiny stitches here and big stitches here. I want to keep every element inside of that box with similar size stitches. Say that 3 times real fast, right? Okay, here is, oops, got to get that up. Half of our 8-point rotation. Beautiful, isn't it? I don't know why I don't use this more often. I really like it. It's pretty. So let's go ahead and put in the other rotations for a 16. Okay, let's take a look at how that looks. Making sure I'm right in the middle. You know, when we do 16 rotations or we got a lot of rotations, we do have a tendency to get a little bit of thread buildup here. What I do when I take this out of my machine is I steam it and I use a tailor's clapper and hold it down. I do it on a wool mat. Manischewitz, does that ever flatten out that seam or that thread nest? I'm sorry. It really works great. The other thing is, don't hesitate in that center. Don't hang around there. You want to get away from it as quickly as possible. Nice relaxed hands. I am seeing some secondary designs here that are really cool. Okay, here we go. And what they're telling me is there's wait, can I hear it? Listen, listen, you might hear it. Temply me. Yep, they want to be template. Okay, that was really corny, guys. I apologize. Okay, and around we go. Back to center. Again, don't hang around in that center. Now, what happens here is sometimes I have to actually just lift my foot up to get myself back into that center because my foot doesn't self-adjust. All right, here we go. Other one. Perfect. I am not the picture of perfection. I don't do perfect every time. When I do, I get really excited though. Now, if I could, I would keep a bowl of M&Ms next to me, and every time oh, don't forget, a bowl of Brussels sprouts too, okay? Every time I did something perfect, I would eat an M&M, and every time I did something really bad, I'd eat a Brussels sprout. Guess which ones I'd eat more of? Yeah, Brussels sprouts. But it's incentive. Okay, here we go. And don't forget that hesitation stitch. Anytime you have a point, a sharp point, you want to make sure to do that hesitation stitch. You don't want to hang around there. It's kind of like the center. You don't want to hang around, but you do want to make sure you get that stitch done. Okay, now we're ready with 16 points. Isn't that beautiful, guys? I really like it. And I am thinking Temp-Lee. Oh my gosh, the opportunities here. Look at that. I would probably go with each one of these to Temp-Lee. You could also take your intense pencils, come in and shade this out, and it would look so three-dimensional. It would be pretty. It definitely would. So what do you think so far? Okay, Lee says she's rural too, nothing less than 20-minute drive away. Oh, I know, Lee. Well, we have a grocery store closer than that. Um, Deb says she loves the secondary design. Di is loving this. You know what? It just dawned on me as I was looking at my monitor. This looks like a turkey. Oh, how cool it would be to put a couple eyes there and a couple little arms, and you could have yourself a Thanksgiving turkey. Oh, okay. Yeah, you guys would probably think I was on drugs or something. I'm not really. This is me all the time. Okay, let's take a look over here. What I've got here is I just wanted to do a little bit of a play with border treatment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 5.5 inch out. Okay. And I'm gonna come down on one side, I'm gonna flip it and come back on the other side, and we're gonna check this out together. I have no idea how this is going to work. It may be an M&M or it may be a Brussels sprout. I'm not sure, okay? I'm sure you guys absolutely love it when I go on tangents like this. Okay, here we go. And this is the first half. Now we know that they're going to be the same size. However, with that said, every time we make a stitch, we're pulling that fabric up a little bit, right? So what happens is when we come back in the other direction, it's actually going to be a little shorter. Probably not enough to make an appreciable difference, but it will be shorter. I am going to turn my template. I'm going to mirror image from one side to the other. Now we're going to make another half rotation. We're going to stop in the center. I am going to mirror image this again. So I am turning my template of horizontally, or in this case vertically, each time I go around. And I want to get at least 4 of them here. Okay, that's the third one. And here is going to be the fourth one. And then we're going to look at this before we go ahead and put the second half in. And I want to apologize for all the problems with the audio yesterday. Oh my gosh. Susie, I love it. The NBC Peacock. Oh, yeah, definitely. Okay, so here, if you only wanted to do one half of this, say on the inside of a border or something, or a sashing, look at, isn't that pretty? I actually really like that. I think it's very different, but it flows nicely. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn this around. I am now going to put the bottom on top instead of the top. This is what I call the top of the template. If your template is sitting flat on a piece of fabric and you can read it, to me, that's the top of the template. The bottom of the template is where the gate, in this case, I have needle channel, or the tack hole is. So this to me is the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, flip this around, and this time I'm going to start on the right side of this line, halfway line, with the bottom. Okay. And again, we're going to continually mirror image them. And we should end up right here. Okay. So let's take a look at that. It's going to be asymmetrical, but you know what? That's okay. We don't have to be perfectly symmetric every time. Oh, I love it when it comes together like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mirror image this. Get those threads out the way. Here we go. I may need to do a little fudging here, guys, because if we look here, you're going to see that this actually has moved up. And the reason that has moved up is because of the additional stitching. So I can take one stitch here, but I want to shorten it up in the curve. It's always best to get to the largest point of the curve to shorten something up. So right here, I'm going to stop with my foot down. I'm going to move it up. I'm going to get my spacing gauge out, and that is perfect. And no one will ever know the difference. So many nuances that we have to be aware of, and there we got it. Perfect. I'm going to mirror images again. Yeah, I can make some smooshing too. That's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I will need to make just one half of a stitch adjustment on this. Here we go. Stop here. Make sure your needle is down when you do that. Just going to push it up about a half a stitch. Perfect. And we're going to close that design. Ah, I love it when it comes together like this. Okay, here we go. This is our last one. I'm going to check. Okay, we're good on this one, actually. Around we're going to go. Oh, guys, I know exactly what this looks like. I love it. And let's go ahead. All right. I want to see if anybody else sees the same thing I see in this. What do you think? What do you think? I know what I see. Should I get an M&M or should I get a Brussels sprout? Oh, definitely want you guys to tell me. Okay. Oh, Susie got it. I know. It's exactly like that, isn't it? Peanuts in the shell. I love it. I did not expect that. Okay. So you see how much fun we can have. Next thing I want to do, and I really want to get to this. How are we doing, guys? Yeah, Ronnie sees peanuts too. Debbie sees peanuts. I love it. So you've got to tell me, do I get an M&M or do I get a Brussels sprout? Oh goodness, here we go. I am taking out, I've got 16 rotations here set up. We may not get to all 16. Oh, Lisa, you are so smart. Would make a nice baby quilt with a circus theme. Circus peanuts. Ken's favorite. Deb says get a peanut M&M. That is Ken's favorite for sure. He loves circus peanuts. He loves peanut M&Ms. Unfortunately, he can't eat any of that stuff anymore. Monica, you are too funny. If anything is recognizable, then you get an M&M. Love it. Love it. Okay. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to use our tack. Okay. And I know I've covered this before, but this bears repeating. Okay. When you do put your tack in to a spin-e-fex, you're going to have a 2-inch circle around the center. So what I like to do, and it's because of my shortcomings, guys, not because of the templates. Okay. I want you to understand that. I have a hard time traveling from reference line to reference line nicely. What I found works for me, okay? And I always like to caveat that this is the way it works for me. Doesn't necessarily work for you this way. And I want you to take what you can use, leave the rest, okay? Because we're all very different and we all have different methods of doing things. And quite honestly, none of them are wrong. Okay? I am not a my way or highway kind gal. We're just going to explore options. Okay? Love to explore options. Nice round circle. I'm going to stop here, make sure my needle is down. I want to go ahead and break this thread. Now my template moved. Is that a problem? Absolutely not. Because of these beautiful markings here, I'm going to end up exactly back where I started. If you're unsure, no worries. Go ahead and use your spacing gauge, right? And there we go. Perfect. And we're going to come in and close up this circle now. and we did it. Perfect. There we go. Yep, my circles are older. I need to replace my tape here on my gate too because it is literally falling apart. I use these often. Okay, so now let's take, okay, let's do a 9.5. Yeah, let's do a 9.5. We haven't used that yet. I do need to break thread here because I need to put my tack in. And here we go. We're going to set the tack in from the right side. I think this is one of the most valuable things I ever learned. Go from the right side first. Then you have a hole right here. Go back in through that side, and you're going to come out almost perfect every time. Sometimes I have a tendency to put the tack in a little bit angled. And if we do that, it's not going to be perfect. There we go. But it sure gives us a nice head start so we don't have to worry about it, right? Okay. Oh, guys, that's going to be way too big. I'm going to have to do the 7.5. Okay. Or I could even do a smaller one. Yeah, let's do the 5.5. Why not? It's Wednesday morning. We can do what we want, right? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to pull my thread up, get it out from around my foot because that's going to cause probably some little issues. Now, the one thing about doing it this way is that you can't go back and forth like we do on regular spin effects. You have to go in a circle, okay? That's just the way, the nature of the beast. It's not going to work any other way. So I'm going to take my first stitch in place and I'm going to head around. Hesitation stitch at top, hesitation stitch, off we go. And we're back to our circle. Beautiful. Okay, now what I like to do at this point, if I can, and 99% of the time it works out, I will just go ahead and take this off the pin, not take it off of the fabric, just off of the pin, and then I will travel to the next reference line. And then I will come in. I'm going to clip this thread too, and I will put it back on. And you see how easy that is. It really is not difficult to do. I'm going to go ahead, line myself up, and I'm going to make another rotation. These do not lap over, but if you did a 32 points, it would. And maybe you don't want them to lap over. That's fine too. Okay. Now, let's pretend you don't want to take it off the pin. Okay. So what I would do here is make sure that I'm right exactly on that line of stitching. And I'm not going to touch my template. I'm just going to free motion over to the next reference line. And my template came with me. Okay. That may be a lot easier for some people. I say it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. And whichever one works best for you is the method you should choose. And back down and around we're going to go. And we're going to end back up right there on our line. I'm going to go ahead and travel without moving the template, without removing the template. This is important. Take your time here. This is what's going to make it or break it. It's going to be how nice your inside circle is going to look. All right. Let's see. Where are we at? Oh, good morning, Jean. You made it from Mount Vernon, Washington. Welcome. A little caffeine never hurt anybody. There we go. And we're going to come up and around again. Hesitation stitch. Don't forget that hesitation stitch. It is so, so important. And while I'm stitching on this, don't forget today at 3 p.m. Pacific time, I believe it is, Stacy is going to be presenting the second half of the launch. Whoops. For the next Elevate box. And she's going to do a project live. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see it. I've already seen the project, I'll be honest with you guys, and it's adorable. Matter of fact, I probably am going to use it myself. So here we go. Going to come back down. Would I normally do all this turning of the fabric? Absolutely not. Nope. But I want you to see everything really nicely. So there's a quarter of it. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to up it just a little bit, okay? We need more rotations in here. So I'm going to take out my 16-point crosshair ruler, and I am going to put some more reference lines in here, as if we don't have enough, right? It's okay. It's fun. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm only going to do part of it. And there we go. Drawing reference lines in is so easy with these crosshair rulers. I don't know if you guys are aware of it or not. We have a ton of different crosshair rulers. We have 5-point, we have 6-point, we have 8-point, we have 24 and 32-point as well. And yes, I do own those. And how often do I use them? Not nearly enough. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Um, I really should use them more often because they rock. They really, really do. Okay. Now what I need to do is I need to extend those lines out a little bit. And that's because it's me. I like these lines coming out into infinity. Okay. And I think what we're going to do, because I'm bringing these lines out, whoops, this is what I don't like about these pens, Donna, or these pencils, wastes a lot of lead. And this lead, I'm going to be honest with you guys, is not cheap. It is not cheap. Okay, come out here. Well, that's a little baby one. We want to come all the way out. Here we go. What I'm going to do here, the reason that I'm pulling all of these out is because I'm going to put a bigger template in here. Now, can you mix it in? Oh, wow, that was horrible. Can you mash up the different templates as you're using them? Yes, absolutely you can. Absolutely. I think it was Di Russell who did a Spin-e-Fex mashup. She used different Spin-e-Fex templates together, and man alive, it turned out so cute. She had so many neat ideas. I just loved it. Okay, there we go. I better pull this one out too, just in case we get that far. I'm not expecting we will. Okay, there we go. This is 32 rotation lines. Okay, 32 reference lines. So what I'm going to do is I am going to come in here with my 9.5 inch. I'm going to start here. This would be pretend line number 1. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and put this in. I'm going to check for comments real quick. Okay, we're good. You guys all quiet down so much when I start stitching. Oh, I guess that may be a good thing. I'm not sure. Or a bad thing if you're away from your computer doing something else. Okay, here we go. First stitch in place. Relax hands. I can get rid of that thread now. Now, the bigger the templates get, the more necessary it may be to move your hands halfway through. If you take a look at where my hands are now, I actually should have staple tape here and here, okay? Because I'm not reaching this far. Reaching this far puts a lot of strain on my hands. I don't want to do that, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get about to the center where my hands need to move, because there is this triangular spot, I call it, where you have most of your control. And you want to keep your foot inside that triangular space. When you start getting out here, you're losing control of this portion of your template. But if you stop and move your hands back there, you have just regained control. Okay, there we go. Back to that center. I am going to just make a few stitches to the next reference line. And these reference lines are very close together, guys. They really are. Okay, there we go. We're there already, right? Okay, so we're going to come up here. Nice relaxed hands. Debbie, I think you're going to like the template opportunities on this one. I sometimes think I live for secondary designs because they can be so gorgeous. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes too many rotations just muddies up the water. It's not that it's ugly, because it's not, but it just gives it can be overwhelming at times. I don't prefer to be overwhelmed as a rule, okay? Um, I like a lot of design, but sometimes it just gets enough is enough, right? Okay, so now we're going to come out here and we're going to go ahead and we're going to travel. You notice I'm not holding on to my tablet. I'm just getting to the next reference line. There we go. And the nice thing about this is if you're unhappy with how this looks after you've gone over a second time, which you shouldn't be because you can see how beautiful it's stitched out, you could go over it 3 or 4 more times and it's going to build that thread up. Now, there's an advantage and a disadvantage to that. The advantage is if you have any wobbles in there, they're not going to show. The disadvantage is because you're building up so much thread, the eye is going to be drawn there, and you may not want the viewer's eye to look that close at that spot. Okay. So weigh your differences and before you make a decision. Okay. And we're going to go back down. Stop here. Put my needle down and come back to center. I do a few more of these. This is something I don't normally do often. I don't normally go into 24 or 32 rotations. Why is beyond me, because they can be absolutely gorgeous. Here we go. It takes a few rotations though to before we start seeing the secondary designs working out. And I'll be honest with you guys, I kind of put those reference lines in rather quickly. So my secondary designs are not going to be consistent. You want to take your time. And remember, every line you put down has dimension, okay? And what I'm talking about is look at how thick this line is and how thin this line is. You're going to want to make sure that you have each one of your reference lines basically the same thickness. And that's going to help you to make sure that your stitching and your lining up of everything are even. There we go. And around and around and around we go, right? Okay, I just ran out of bobbin thread. I guess that means that we have done enough stitching for one day, but look at this. Is that awesome? Isn't that absolutely awesome? So you can come with the smaller one, you can come with the bigger one. It looks beautiful. Dave, good morning. Okay, Donna said I just bought a set of 8 different sew line markers, erasers, etc. from Public Way Shop. It's a good price. I haven't tried them yet. Okay. Um, sew line markers, those I am not familiar with. Okay. I'm sorry. I just not. Linda Lombardo says we are hanging on every word. They're too funny. I love it. So witty. So witty. Ah, Donna does not know if she likes them or not. I can't comment. I don't think I've ever used them. I'll have to look them up. So this morning, what we've done is Spin-e-Fex 6. Okay. We have made peanuts. Love it. Peanuts. Really? We have made a turkey. We have done so many weird things this morning. We have made a circle into a square. We Donna's not sure if she likes these or not, and I can understand that. It took me a while to grow fond of them myself, but we've got them. We've got them. So what we got coming up, guys? Monday is my even Monday, and so I at 6 o'clock will be doing Donna McCulley quilting coils. Tuesday. What am I doing Tuesday? Let's take a look here because I'm not really sure. Coral fern. I love coral fern. That is such a fun template. Where is it? Oh, coral fern, come out. I know you're there. Huh, there it is. So we're doing coral fern. Coral fern is fun. And I'm going to show you a couple different things we can do with that. And we are doing Spin-e-Fex 5 on Wednesday morning. Sound good? So I'm going to go ahead and post the link in here one more time. There we go. Um, don't forget, you've got your coupons, 20 deal day 20, and that's going to give you 20% off of the templates that I use this week. Those coupon codes are good Monday through Monday. So you can use them yet with the connecting heart, with the Spin-e-Fex 6, and what did I do Monday, guys? Boy, I forgot already. But you can use them with those too. You guys are all so welcome. I want to thank you for giving up a part of your day to spend with me. Coupon is working. Thank you, Deb. Thank you. I think we've got a new process that's going to work well. Oh, yeah, Linda, it was Starry Night. So we use Star Till 2, Star 1, and Full Moon. Thank you, Lisa. I really appreciate your kind words. And as I said, I appreciate even more than that, that you give me your time. I know how precious time is to all of us, and it doesn't go unnoticed. Trust me, I do very much appreciate it. Donna, thank you. You guys have a good weekend too. Hopefully, we're going to have nice weather. It's going to be another summer weekend. Unfortunately, Rita, we can't send you the warmth. Oh, and we will see you then. As always, like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to get a hold of me if you want any questions or have any questions or anything, okay? Sosei.com, under the Elevate tab, you'll find the instructors, and all of my contact information is there. Don't be afraid to use it. So until we meet again, let's